a position which he would never run away from. Her origin story was basically just a duplicate of Luke's. Hi guys, welcome back to the lore dimension, and we're talking about one of my most passionate subjects, Star Wars.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
I've loved Star Wars since I was a child. I remember when my siblings and I all got chickenpox, we just did a Star Wars marathon. Sick on the couch, eating smoothies and milkshakes. It was fantastic. I had Star Wars themed birthday parties as a child. I have Star Wars cookbooks of which I would make things for these Star Wars themed birthday parties from. So I love Star Wars. I have books like Young Boba Fett, Young Jedi. I have so many books. This is literally just a few of them. I have stacks of Star Wars books. I am most passionate about ABY, so everything that happened after the Battle of Yavin.
I watched Star Wars films, guys.
You did. I have...
Before Katie goes off on a total and utter tangent, I watched Star Wars growing up. I like Star Wars. I like lightsabers, swords. I don't resonate with it too much. I don't know too much about it. I've heard things. I haven't seen any of the newest 3 films and any of the side films. So this one's going to be a Katie. Katie just goes.
He's just here to calm me down and keep me in check. Because, oh boy, can I rage.
There's a tempest in.
Essentially, the new Star Wars movies could turn me to the dark side, because that is how angry they make me.
Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
I can talk so much about the different things that make me angry about it. Today, specifically, I'm just talking about Rey Palpatine. She's not a Skywalker. She's never been a Skywalker. She's a Palpatine.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
I am comparing her to one of my favorite legend characters, Jaina Solo. Real quick, the difference between canon and legends. Legends is what existed of Star Wars before the sequels came out. They then became legends because they were formerly canon. When Kathleen Kennedy decided to retcon everything that was Star Wars and say, well, we didn't have comic books to go off of.
Liar!
All of what was Star Wars then became Star Wars Legends, so the stories still exist, they're just no longer canon. Essentially, in this video, I'm just going to talk about why Jaina Solo would have made for so much better films, storyline, better character. And this isn't to say that Daisy Ridley isn't a good actress. She's a phenomenal actress. I fully believe she could have played Jaina Solo. This is about the writing, the production, the fact that they took already existing lore and said, what lore?
And I'm going to find out.
I was so angry.
I'm in danger!
So, for a bit about who Jaina Solo is, for those who don't know, for those who are average Star Wars viewers, Jaina Solo was the oldest child of Han and Leia. She and her twin brother Jason obviously were born at the same time, 9 years after the Battle of Yavin. They had a younger brother as well named Anakin. They all were extremely force sensitive to the point that even in the womb, Jaina and Jason could telepathically connect with each other and their mother. They went on to be trained by Luke himself. They went to the Jedi Praxium, became part of the new Jedi Order. They grew up being hunted by so many people because of both who their mother was, who their father was, who their uncle was. They were abducted and escaped numerous times, whether on their own or with help or if they were rescued. They both had incredible storylines, as did Anakin, their younger brother.
I mean, the first one had a pretty decent storyline too. But...
It's all Obi-Wan's fault.
Fair enough. Very different to this one, though.
Very different.
So, she grew up training as a Jedi fighter pilot during the Yuuzhan Vong War, which is no longer canon. and I can go off about that. I probably will do a video just on the Yuuzhan Vong War. She became a distinguished pilot in the Rogue Squadron, so she's got her father's piloting skills, her grandfather's piloting skills, but then she's also very intelligent, clever, and somewhat elegant, like her mother. Truly one of my favorite Star Wars characters. She ended up having to kill her brother after he turned to the dark side. She and Luke did everything they could to turn him back, to get him back, and when it became apparent that the only way to save the universe, the galaxy, was to Jason, Darth Kaitis at the time, she did it. The emotional toll that takes on a person, especially not only her brother, it was her twin. She also lost her other brother. I'll probably do a video on him. He didn't live the most spectacular life. It was interesting, but he died very young. Whereas Jason was old enough to find love, father a child, turn to the dark side, get killed by his sister, all that kind of stuff. Now, sometime during the Yuuzhan Vong War, Jaina was named the Sword of the Jedi by Luke, who was the Grand Master of the Jedi, a position which he would never run away from, despite his pupil turning to the dark side. Doesn't that sound familiar?
I haven't seen them, so...
It's alright. It's better you don't.
Oh, is that the guy with the lightsaber?
Yeah.
I like the lightsaber. It's janky, but it's kind of cool. I like the concept that it's like...
Cross-guarded?
No, the fact that it's like...
Unstable.
Unstable, yeah.
Yes.
That's perfect. Yeah, I like the instability of it, the crackly, and that's cool. Yeah. But I also hear that it's like big no-no because he shouldn't exist and various things along these lines.
He shouldn't exist. Which I will go into a little bit in this video.
Kylo Ren. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Following the Yuuzhan Vong War, the defeat of Darth Kaitis, Jaina then had to face another threat. The Lost Tribe of the Sith teamed up with Abeloth, which is just this creature comprised of dark side energy. I know I've talked about Abeloth a lot. Another really cool character, terrifying bad guy, like galaxy-wide stakes.
Stakes for everybody.
So, in fighting this dark side entity, Jaina, she had to draw on the Force. She experienced something called Force Euphoria, where you draw so much strength from the Force, you start to partially become one with it, and you can legitimately glow from this ability. Now, mind you, she was pulling on abilities that her uncle was also pulling on. So, she's already not necessarily on par with Luke, but she is up there. She gets named a Jedi Master in 44 ABY, which is the year they defeat Abeloth. Now, mind you, she was born 9 ABY, so she's 35.
Right.
She earned it. She had a somewhat on-again, off-again relationship with a diplomat and leader of the New Empire. I believe it's the New Empire. Editor's note here if I'm wrong. Jagged fell, but she ended up marrying him. They had a happy, satisfying love story ending. She was a true Jedi. She was a true warrior. She was a strong woman without being a fake character that doesn't exist. In contrast, Rey is a made-up character. Granted, yes, all characters in Star Wars are made up, but Jaina had so much history, whereas Rey was just made up for these movies. Specifically for these movies. For a made-up plot that none of it existed before this. Sure, Palpatine may have had clones. I didn't dig into that side of the lore as much because Palpatine didn't really interest me past the original Star Wars movies. She was the daughter of a Palpatine clone, but then took the name Skywalker because she could. She had incomplete training, but was somehow capable enough to wield a lightsaber, use the Force without anyone remotely showing her what to do. Her origin story was basically just a duplicate of Luke's. Sandy planet, a child wanting to leave and journey to the stars, and then finally getting the ability to. Stolen. Everything about her story has been stolen, and that's what brings me to Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren is a pale imitation of Jaina Solo. Kylo Ren is the alleged son of Han and Leia. His original name was even Ben, which is the name of Luke's son in the Legends. So he was literally a combination of Luke's son and Han and Leia's actual son, Jason.
offering me pasta.
It's a pasta. This is a spicy meatball.
I have the spaghetti ready later.
And they literally just took these two characters and said, let's make one, call him Kylo Ren, make him turn to the dark side, make Luke run away from him after he attempts to kill him and then fails and realizes all of this happened in the original stories with Jaina Solo when he turned to Darth Caedus. Luke didn't run away because he's not a coward, and that is not who he is. Even Mark Hamill has said that's not who Luke is.
Jedis don't give up. I mean, even if he had a problem, he would maybe take a year to try and regroup.
I can do a whole video on Darth Caedus, and I probably will because I had a script written out years ago.
You're doing great.
I'm so angry.
You're doing great.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Rey and Kylo Ren end up having this on again, off again. Like, do they love each other? Do they hate each other? Will they kill each other? And it's so stupid. It feels contrived, fake. He then kills Han Solo, which that ain't how Han Solo dies. And also, Han and Leia would never have broken up. Never. They may have argued, but fundamentally at their core, it's not who they were. They may have rolled their eyes at each other and had to rescue each other from various things at different times, but it just is so clear to me that everything in Rey's story is stolen from content that they claimed didn't even exist, which is just ridiculous and stupid. And I think Jaina would have made such a better character. They could have even had Carrie Fisher's daughter play her if they really wanted to. You know, no offense to Daisy Ridley, but if they really wanted to have that legacy, because I know Carrie Fisher's daughter made a cameo in the sequels, but they could have had her play the character, or had Daisy Ridley play the character. They had so much story and so much depth that they could have explored with galactic-wide stakes.
That's a really big steak.
We're feeding the galaxy.
It's a really big steak.
Doesn't this steak look a little big to you?
And, you know, choosing your partner who's got political affiliations versus what you feel is the right thing to do according to the Jedi Order. And they show, I mean, Leia was a Jedi Knight. She never became a master. She didn't want to be. She still married Han Solo. Luke Skywalker was Grand Master of the Jedi. He married Mara Jade Skywalker. They had a son. He changed the Jedi way when he rebuilt the Jedi Order, and I think they could have shown so much of that. Wherever they wanted to jump in with the story, there's so much more they could have done than just make up a character, make up a backstory for her, steal half of her plot from other things that have existed, and it makes me so angry.
I'm always angry.
We don't talk about the sequels in this house.
Keep it secret.
So yeah, I'm sorry you haven't really gotten to talk much this video. I had a lot that I was feeling inside, and I've felt this way for a while. As soon as they started making the movies, I was immediately like, who's that? Why are they doing this? Why did they change everything? Because one of my favorite things, and it was in this book right here, that I first learned about Han and Leia's children. There's a part in the back that I have turned to time and time again because I convinced myself that it wasn't real when I was a child. But no, they had twins, Jason and Jaina. They had Anakin after that. Tragically, Jaina was the only one who survived further into adulthood. But this is why Star Wars fans that do know the lore and know what is now considered legends were so angry about the sequels. Not only were they just not great movies, they disrespected all of the original Star Wars canon. And I know people who have stacks of Star Wars comic books, Star Wars graphic novels. I mean, I have stacks of books. And
Literally.
It's so disrespectful not only to the authors that worked on these, to George Lucas, and yet he made the decision to sell to Disney. Disney didn't have to do him dirty like this.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
And it's disrespectful to the fans because I had such hopes for Star Wars, and now
None.
I love the 6 Star Wars movies.
Well, this is exactly my problem. One of very few things I do know about Star Wars is Revan and his whole story, hence the helmet. And I'm very interested in that because of the whole light side, dark side, back again, finding balance and then sort of becoming like God of Jedi. People who will argue with me and say, no, that's Luke.
I will be the most powerful Jedi ever.
Fine, but Revan's cool. I like Revan, and I don't want to see Revan butchered. So as much as I'd love to see a Revan movie or show, I don't want Disney to be the ones to do it. It feels like it'd be an injustice. Again, ignoring any modern day factors even, you don't like too much political sprinkled into your mythology and your fiction.
It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
The whole point is to get away from that, stick to the lore. There's a story that has a fan base and all these people want to see that story told. Why waste time and money when you have everything there written, hard standing, to go off of, to make the people happy? Give this diverse plethora of people all these different roles, but remain true to the lore as it stands. It's not that difficult, really.
It's not. It shouldn't be. From what I've seen of The Mandalorian, I've enjoyed it. I haven't seen all of it. I've seen some of Book of Boba Fett. Again, I enjoyed it for what it was. A little bit of a weird thing with Boba Fett because there was a young Boba Fett book series that I read and enjoyed. But it was cool to see his adult life because I always believed he survived that Sarlacc pit. I haven't seen The Acolyte. I haven't seen Ahsoka. I haven't seen Andor, which I have heard great things about. That one is one of the only ones that I genuinely want to see. Feel a little bit apprehensive about Ahsoka because one of the characters in it is played by Natasha Liu Bordeaux. She's phenomenal. I met her on the Society, and she's a delightful person. It's just hard for me to separate when I've met someone versus the character they're playing. That's a whole other thing. All in all, I'm going to struggle moving forward to trust Disney with Star Wars. And until I see some things start to change, I don't think I'd be going to see a Star Wars movie in theaters. I don't think I'd waste my time doing that. I'll probably still watch them because I want to know what's going on with Star Wars. I just don't necessarily want to show them that support in the box office because I am incredibly disappointed with what they've done. That being said, I'm sure I will make plenty more Star Wars videos in the future. I might have to just show him the new movies.
I'm still learning things.
Just so he can understand my rage. If you do want to know the true Star Wars lore, the original Star Wars lore, there is a book series that I'll throw up right here. I highly recommend it. It's 9 books. It's a big read. I listened to the audiobooks. It was phenomenal. It talks all about the Last Tribe of the Sith, Abeloth, Luke's journey to retrace what happened to Jason. Cannot recommend it more. There are tons of other YouTube channels that do just Star Wars lore, so if you want to find out more about that, check them out. I probably, as I said, will make a video on Darth Caedus, potentially one on Anakin Solo, not Skywalker. I'd love to delve more into the Star Wars legends because that's what I'm passionate about, enragingly so.
No doubt we'll end up making some kind of Star Wars props in the near future as well.
Yes.
Got the...
I mean, obviously, the helmet.
Yeah, we have that to finish. We've got the Andoril lightsaber hilt up there that's being printed.
Can't really see, but it's there.
And we will leave a creator's make in the description because we didn't design this. So thank you to those. Very cool. And we're going to be making a lightsaber out of it soon, hopefully.
I'm sufficiently enraged, but Disney do better. That's all.
Much better. Just let Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds direct everything, Disney, and you may succeed. You may find a future yet.
I'd love a Ryan Reynolds Star Wars movie.
Ryan Reynolds as Revan. I'd be down for that. He'd do that well. Oh, he'd do that so well.
Unless
Ryan Reynolds as Revan.
Unless you're Ryan Reynolds, stop watching. This message is exclusively for Ryan Reynolds. Please, please be Revan. Make a Revan movie or show and be Revan. Thank you. That is all. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like the video if you like the video. Leave a comment. That does help us get seen and interact with you. Please subscribe. We are trying to grow and reach more people that might be interested in this sort of thing. So share it if you know someone who might find this interesting. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you soon.